Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop. Welcome to the Four Horsemen build for January 2022. As always, if you want to participate, just make sure you follow our guidelines as far as the month and the theme, and email all your entries into fourhorsemendiecast@gmail.com so we can include it in our compilation. This month, it is the Hot Wheels Dairy Delivery, which is one of the bane of my existence castings. Not the casting as a whole, but this version, the gut milk version, because I don't know what they do to put the paint on, but it's horrible trying to get it off. Obviously, our theme this month is military. I kind of went, I didn't pick a specific branch. If I had to take a stab at it, I would say it's more Army than anything, but it's more special ops type of vehicle. And as you know, or may have noticed in the introduction, our special guest horseman this month is Andrew over at Maple Leaf Diecast. And each month we're going to have me, Paul from Diecast Graveyard, Xavier from Diecast Show Customs, and a special guest horseman. And we all get to pick who we want. So I've asked one person so far, and I believe everybody else is kind of all set. Or I know we're good up until like June or July. But anyways, so what I'm doing is I'm just going through some of my bits and pieces that I've had from my different Gaslands builds and trying to find some things to add to this casting that will make it look a little bit more on the military side of the spectrum. And I didn't want to go crazy with this. I mean, I could have done all kinds of decals and camo paint. And to be honest with you, to me, I kind of just wanted it's a dairy delivery. So obviously it's not a tank. It's not anything else. So I wanted to look something like, maybe in, I wouldn't say World War II, but some sort of time period between World War II and maybe now. Somebody found, or a crew found, an old Divco milk truck and converted it into the best they could into a military type vehicle. So I'm going to put a weapon system on it as far as a gun turret on the top, because the top lends itself to that. And I was kind of playing around with some different things. I was thinking about putting a plow on the front. I kind of opted to do none of that. I put the turret on, and I'm going to put a blast shield on the back window, just to prevent bullets from flying inside the vehicle. It's just, again, everybody's got their own vision of what things are going to look like. This gun turret actually happened to have a little tab that stuck down on the bottom, which made it perfect for mounting. I didn't have to just glue it flush. So in order to do that, excuse me, I have to drill a hole to the top, and that allows me the flexibility to just pop that right in there, and it's secure. The advantage there is I know it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to fall off. Just makes it easier for me personally. And again, everybody's got different takes on this. Excuse me, I'm fighting a serious sinus infection. So this is round one. This is after a week of being in the citrus strip. So I said, screw it, and I broke out the heavy hitter, and I got the aircraft remover that I freshened up a little bit. Don't do what I'm doing. Wear gloves. This stuff is highly, it'll burn your skin. It's just one of those things that I should be wearing gloves and do as I say, not as I do, I guess. So I primed the casting as a whole once I put the gun turret on, and then I painted it like I had a can of forest green spray paint that I had kicking around from another build a long time ago. And then the wheels that I found were like steel wheels, steelies. And I think the back were gray and the front were brown. So I just took the actual rubber off and painted them black. I thought the black was a nice contrast to the green. And I'm kind of, what I'm going to try to do this year is give you a little bit more of an in-depth um, maybe regretting it, and you may regret it, insight into my thought process when I'm doing a build and why I'm doing certain things. Sometimes it's out of pure laziness. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes there is a method to my madness, and sometimes I'm behind on builds and I'm in a hurry, which is no excuse. I should never do that. But anyways, you'll get the idea where I'm going with something from the get go and why. So here I'm just bending the tabs back over. I was lucky enough to be able to use the same tab area. So if you remember, I put that gun turret in and I drilled a hole through the roof. Well, that presented a problem when I went to go put the glass back in, because obviously it was hitting the glass. So you can see right there, I marked it in red, and I just got a drill bit for my Dremel tool. I'm just going to drill through that, then kind of whore it out a little bit, make it nice and wide. That way it'll fit over that tab that's sticking down, just to give it some clearance. I mean, I could have just cut it in half, because you can't see the back half anyways, because I covered it with armor plating. But I just thought this was it was easier, and I think the plastic base, which I painted silver because it looked like there were a lot of sheet metal parts that they used to tub when they did this. I just thought that the back half of that windshield glass being one piece, the plastic chassis itself, or the interior, actually sits up against that, so that keeps that from floating around in the back. So that's kind of why I opted to just drill a hole instead of cutting it in half. Here, this is all stuff that nobody will ever see, but once in a while I kind of find it therapeutic to do some detail painting. So I chromed out the exhaust tips. I'm painting the transmission. I'll paint the large oil pan. I painted the exhaust, the mufflers, and I'll do some detail painting on the interior as well, even though you absolutely won't see any of that. Which kind of, it's a shame, because they put a lot of detail into the mold when they made the interior pieces. You got a nitrous bottle, you got the bomber seat. There's a lot of decent details in there, and you never get to see it on this casting. So I just thought it was kind of a cool opportunity to do a little bit and test out my painting skills on small parts, and made me realize how much I shake. Excuse me. I even had coffee when I was doing this, but regardless, it's one of those things that some people do it, some people don't. I do it on occasion. I'm guilty probably more than anybody on taking shortcuts. And I started off, when I started this channel, I was, painting everything, whether you could see it or not. And then as time became more of an issue, I'm guilty of cheating and doing what was going to look good on camera. And that's a shitty way to do things. And I really wasn't happy. So if you notice, I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately. Pretty much one a month, which is the diecast FOUR HORSEMAN builds. Part of it is because I've been busy at work. Part of it's because I picked up an RC hobby, which is more addicting than crack. So don't do it. Once you I bought one a year ago, I think. I didn't race it till 6 months ago. And then from there on out, I've been buying like one a month. So it's crazy. But I've been racing a lot, and it's been a blast. And I've gotten to meet a lot of great people and form some new friendships, which for me, if you guys follow me on social media, on my personal Facebook page, no, I'm not a people person. So it's kind of nice to get out and actually talk to humans and put myself out there. So, that's been really nice, and it's been time consuming. I race on Sunday, I practice on Saturday, I fix everything I broke Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So there's not a lot of time for me to put into the diecast, but I'm at that point now where I'm breaking less. I'm not practicing as much, so I can get back into doing these diecast customs for everybody. And I apologize to everybody for not putting them out as consistent as I was. But overall, I thought the break was kind of nice. Made me appreciate it. I'd start going to Instagram. I'd start looking at pictures. Like, damn, that's a great idea, or that's a great. I got back into it, and you tend to lose yourself a little bit, and you get kind of bored, and you do the same old crap over and over again, and there's no excitement in doing it, and I didn't want that to happen. So I thought by taking a break, it was going to help. I did a little bit here, a little bit there, but overall, I've been very inconsistent over the last 3 to 4 months, and it's been on purpose. I wasn't going to rush out to do something when I wasn't feeling it. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that. If you have, let me know in the comments down below. But I get some big things planned this year. I'm hoping to step up my game on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and more importantly, how I'm filming it. I'm sure you guys are really, really tired of looking at my dry, red, cracked hands. And to be honest with you, so am I. So I'm hoping I got to do some cleaning in my basement where the shop is and everything. But I'm hoping to get some different content for you this year. And I'm not doing it. I want to do it because I enjoy it, not because subscribers or anything like that. I got, I don't know, 16, 17,000 subscribers, something like that. I have no idea, but I know it's in that range. But I'm not anybody who does YouTube, unless you got 60 to 100,000 plus subscribers, you're not making shit for money. So this is definitely not something I do for money. I do it because it's a creative release. I enjoy it. And to be honest with you, I get a lot of emails from veterans. Being a veteran myself, if you follow the channel, I've expressed many times how this hobby in doing these is a great release for stress, whether it be PTSD type of stress or my job sucks and I just need to get away from everything type of stress. And that makes me want to keep doing it, because when people get into the hobby because they need a release, and they thank me for kind of being that, I just happen to be the first person they saw, but for whatever the reason, if they get into it because of a video of mine or somebody else's and they email me, I'm happy. And to me, if you can make a difference in one person, that's a huge thing. And every time I think about, well, maybe I won't do this anymore, that brings me right back. So to those people, if I've made an impact on your life even a little bit, all I can say is I'm humbled and thank you for trusting and watching me paint little die-cast cars. But anyways, so you can see here, I'm going around and painting different things. I had put some side pieces on. Those are, in my opinion, laser guides. I used to have a weapon system in the Army that I worked on, and the turret would move based on a FLIR, a forward-looking infrared laser. And that's kind of what those are. Actually, Magnavox made it, believe it or not. It was kind of a Magnavox / General Dynamics / Raytheon type system, but it was kind of cool. So I thought these things looked pretty cool. It came off I want to say it was off the Tamiya tank model kit that I had. So I threw those on there. I know that's not what they are, but that's what they look like. And they use that to target. It tells you distance and allows you to lock on to a target. So, excuse me, I'm really sorry about my throat. But anyways, you can kind of see and get the gist of what I'm doing. I didn't go crazy on the paint because what's funny is right before I started painting all these details, I'm like, oh, maybe I should paint it black and make it more of a special ops type of thing. So I started second guessing myself, and I'm like, yeah, no, screw it. But I'm trying to keep the theme together. Obviously the Army wouldn't have a Divco truck, so not a milk truck, anyways. So I wanted to keep the theme of a group of guys were abandoned, kind of left on their own. They're inside, pinned down, looking for ways to fight, and they come across this truck and they convert it. Now, obviously, a Divco truck wouldn't be in pristine shape. So after I do my detail painting, I'm going to do some weathering. And this was kind of tough on me because I was trying to keep it away from, and I guess this could be classified in one of those wasteland builds, but I broke up the old typhus corrosion and riser rust. I've done this many times. And the typhus corrosion is a Citadel paint. It's a textured paint. And I apply it pretty much wherever I think there would be rust or should be rust on one of these milk trucks. I've seen a few. I live in New England. I know rust, unfortunately, more better than I should. So the texture paint is the base. That's pretty much, if you ever see rust, rust isn't, it's not smooth. It can be because we have a build coming up for that in 2 months. But most rust, when you see rust, it's the metal is pitted and worn, so that gives it that look. And then you take this riser rust, which is use it pretty much as a dry brush. I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to use a dry brush approach, which you just barely put any on, and the screen doesn't do it justice with this camera. It is very faint. I know it looks orangey, but it dries very, very faint, and it gives it that nice rust look on top of a rough texture. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. But then I'm going to mix it with some water because it's a water-based paint, and I'm going to thin it out, and I'm going to use it like a paint to just add a little bit more depth and a little bit more distinction on certain spots of the rust, because obviously not everything is the same color rust. You have rust that just formed, you've got rust that's been there for a while, things are continually rusting, so on and so forth. So that's kind of what I did here. So you get the gist of what I'm trying to accomplish here. I hope you can kind of see my final vision and the finished product, but that kind of where I was heading with it from my mindset during the course of this build. You can kind of see me mixing it up there, but this is what I started with. I like these castings. I don't like this particular color on this casting only because of the paint, but other than that, I really dig these. This is what I ended up with. I really hope you guys do like it. I went with that, found it, fixed it, got the motor on it, threw some weaponry on it, and we're taking it out. We're patrolling the streets. We're doing what we got to do, that type of thing. I took my black pens. I called it Kill Streak. You can see my kills on the side of the door marked off. I was just kind of having some fun with it. My handwriting's horrible and atrocious. But anyways, you kind of see where I'm going. I had a blast doing this. I can't wait to get back into some more videos. Make sure you check out all the Four Horsemen and all the builds that are Four Horsemen related. Everybody who participates. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you stick around, and I have a few more pictures here. And thank you for watching.